Hello everyone and welcome back to Nara's Tarot. Thank you very much for being here. Today's reading we are going to take a look at the rest of your 2026. Okay, so this is going to be a highly detailed reading. So grab your beverage of choice, get settled in. We are going to dive into a bunch of different details in this reading. So it's going to be a bit of a longer one, but bear with me here. We're going to take a look at a number of different things. Okay, so there are 4 piles for you to choose from today. This is pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. So feel free to pause the video here to select your pile, and otherwise I will see you at your reading. Hello pile 1 and welcome to your reading about the rest of your 2026. So the way that I am structuring this reading is that we will start off with this card in the middle to look at the main theme for the rest of your year, and then our tarot cards will look into the year in 2-month segments. Okay, so July, August, September, October, and then November, December. So I've already pre-shuffled some of the cards over here and then we'll grab oracle cards later. But starting off, let's see, your main theme is gratitude. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of things to be grateful for coming into the rest of the year. A feeling that I'm picking up is that maybe some of you actually don't feel very good about 2026 so far. You feel like you haven't really had a good year. And this message here with gratitude is not just number one, that there will be something that you will be really grateful for, you know, a piece of good news or some kind of achievement that you're reaching. But also Spirit is saying that gratitude is a state that we can choose to arrive at, regardless of what's going on in our lives. So there's something about you shifting your energy a little bit in the rest of the year, just to allow yourself to choose higher vibration, better things. You know, it's a little bit cheesy, but you're choosing to do that because it's just icky to sit in a negative feeling or a negative state all the time. So I think you're really exercising your choice for the rest of 2026 to actually have a good year and actually enjoy the year. Okay, but anyway, let's take a look at the next 2 months, so July and August, and we have these 2 cards over here to show us what's the theme for the next 2 months. And we have the Page of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups, both in reverse. The first message for the next 2 months for you is you are reimagining what happiness looks like to you. And I think that's very connected to what we picked up with the gratitude card over here, because many of you have been feeling very unfulfilled and just very unhappy about life in general. And there's this kind of like blanket feeling of sadness that you carry with you throughout your days. And the days stretch out into weeks into months into years, and before you know it, you're spending a lot of time in a very low energetic state, a low frequency as well. And in the next 2 months, a lot of you are noticing that this is no longer where you want to pour your energy into with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And also you are having to relearn, to unlearn and then relearn what happiness truly means. I think some of you have a very narrow or a very strict definition of what it means to be happy or what you need to be happy in life. Maybe you really feel that you need certain material accomplishments, or maybe you need to have friends, or you need to have a relationship, or you need to have something in your life in order to be happy, to feel happy. Otherwise, you don't feel fulfilled and you don't feel like life is worth living. You know, there isn't really a point to living if you don't have this one thing. And the 10 of Cups in reverse is asking us to pour out all of these expectations, to kind of like empty ourselves out of the dissatisfaction, to replace these cups in our lives that are broken or have holes in them and they're causing a lot of energetic leaks, right? Because we're trying to fill a cup with, for instance, financial achievement or a career achievement, career advancement, or we're trying to fill our cups with romantic love. But those things are not permanent. Spirit is saying that many of the external things that we go through in life are impermanent, and therefore you try to chase after them, but you can never really have them forever. You know, it's natural for things to change. And so we're holding ourselves to a very unrealistic definition of success and of happiness, and also a very narrow one as well. society tends to prioritize one version of success over another, and success that, generally speaking, everybody celebrates is somebody who has career achievements, or who is romantically involved, attached, or somebody who is, rich and recognized in their career, in some kind of field of work, right? Like, we tend to recognize these accomplishments, but we don't necessarily see a lot of different types of lives, or different types of happiness, or different types of fulfillment. So you're being called to kind of like expand your definition of what fulfillment means. And in the next 2 months, you're definitely allowing yourself to actually redefine how you want to live your life, and actually maybe choose to be content with what you have. And I think there's a fear that I'm picking up from some of you, that contentment would mean that you're resting on your laurels, or contentment would mean that you don't ever evolve or grow as a person. And that fear is kind of like the reason why you keep chasing after more things in life, because you feel like if you just stay here, you would be stagnant. But contentment is very different from complacency. Contentment does not conflict with evolution, right? Contentment doesn't say that, oh, I can't evolve as a person and I have to only be stuck here. No. Contentment, there's a flow to it. So contentment allows one to also change and transform with life. And very much so, contentment is also a choice, right? We can feel content even in moments in our lives when maybe things aren't going so well, but we can choose to feel gratitude. We can choose to feel whole in that sense. So there's a lot of healing coming through in the next 2 months, and you're definitely learning how to be kinder, be more gentle to yourself. Okay, let's take a look at the next 2 months, which is July, August, September, and October. Okay, we have here the 9 of Pentacles in reverse and the 8 of Wands in reverse. There is a very interesting message for you here, and not an easy one to hear, I might add, but basically Spirit is kind of like asking of you to surrender a goal that you've been holding on to for a long time with the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles is somebody having kind of like accomplished a certain level of material a success, right? And so they've gained some kind of recognition and independence, and they've gained their street cred essentially. And the 9 of Pentacles in reverse is Spirit asking you to, whether or not you can let go of this goal. And there's something about the 9 of Pentacles and the 8 of Wands together that feels light, actually. It feels like you've been holding on to this weight actually for a very long time, and this goal has been consuming you to no end, and you've been obsessing and doing everything in your waking hours to actually make something happen. But can you actually walk away from it all? And the reason why this is hard to hear is because Spirit isn't saying for you to like just walk away and give up, but there's an energy of detachment. And even detachment is not really a word that I feel encompasses this message over here. It's more so like, can we let go of the grip that this situation has on us, and simply just allow ourselves to enjoy life and just have a different state, Can we just go about our days with more ease and more gentleness? And there's something about that ease and gentleness that helps you to actually accomplish a very different outlook for yourself. The thing is, I do not know what that is. Okay, I don't know if you let go of this thing, whether or not you will still attain your 9 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups kind of emotional and material fulfillment. I do not know, and Spirit isn't saying that here, but there's almost like I dare you to let go. Is that kind of message coming through here? Spirit is asking you, can you let go? Because sometimes when we grip on so tightly to something, the harder it is actually to receive it. The harder it is to actually bring it into our lives, because we're constantly kind of like we're not in harmony with it when we're gripping onto something, and it creates like a repelling effect almost, is the message that I'm picking up here. So we're contending with this unknown. Can we let go? Can we explore a different life for ourselves? What if this Nine of Pentacles goal that we've been working so hard for isn't actually meant for us? What if it's not actually our path? Have you ever considered that? Have you considered any other possibilities in your life for you to gain fulfillment, accomplishment, success, and all those things? Have you ever considered anything else? And Spirit is asking of you to open up your view and your vision to consider these other aspects, okay? So there is this kind of like, I dare you to let go and see where life takes you. I dare you to follow the flow, to just follow the flow, okay? Very interesting. So this last card here will show us the energy of November and December. I actually shuffled the cards and I allowed the ones that wanted to fall out, and therefore there was only one card for the rest of the year. So let's have a look here. We have here the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Yeah. Can you follow the flow? The Wheel of Fortune is all about that divine intervention coming in, right? And the Wheel of Fortune is saying that there's so many things that are outside of our control. So many things in life that can throw us curveballs, that can bring us different experiences. But when we are not open to that, we will never actually receive anything else but the thing that we are fixated on. And sometimes the thing that we're fixated on isn't meant for us, isn't what's giving us happiness. It's actually the thing that is holding us back from our true purpose. You know that social media meme where they say, don't let your boyfriend hold you back from your husband? That's the energy here. You are holding on so tightly to what you think is your boyfriend, and that's actually holding you back from your real husband. And I think so many of you are afraid of what it means to lose this quote-unquote boyfriend, this career, this dream, or this whatever it is, right? Fill in the blanks. And you cannot envision what your actual match is, be it a career, love, financial, housing, whatever it is, whatever match it is, right? You cannot even imagine that because this is all you can see. And the Wheel of Fortune with the final 2 months of 2026 is calling for you to let go. This is going to be difficult for you guys. It could be a little bit difficult because the Wheel of Fortune is in reverse. So it's a little bit difficult for you to accept this change, to see life differently, to kind of like go about your days, go about your daily routines, go about your entire outlook in life differently. It's also a little bit challenging because you are entering 2027 without a clear vision or without a clear goal. That could be something that you end up kind of like being in, you know, that kind of position where some of you may be like, okay, well, I've surrendered, I let go. Now I have no idea. My vision board is completely empty, and that could feel like a bit of a weird thing for some of you. But Spirit is saying that it's okay. It's okay not to know. It's okay to not have a plan. It's okay if you don't know what's going to happen in your life. Uncertainty is a part and parcel of life, and we spend so much time trying to evade uncertainty that we don't allow it to bring us the gifts that the unknown can bring, right? We don't allow ourselves to explore or be curious about what we don't know. And we constantly plan for what we know. But this is Spirit asking you to open yourself up to what you don't know. That the way you can actually receive what's really meant for you, that is outside of the box, that is outside of what your imagination can bring for you, okay? Wow, so you have a pretty interesting next 6 months of your time in the rest of 2026. We are going to grab you your Oracle cards now. So I want to just first take a look at any new beginnings coming through for you in the rest of the year. We have number 56, Earth, Sheep, return to your center. And the number 51, Wood Tiger, powerful beginnings and progress. Underneath the deck, we have number 31, Wood Horse, live and love joyfully. I feel like this is your theme. And there's wood, earth, and wood as well. So there's a very earthy, grounding kind of theme coming through for the rest of your year. I think that's very much needed, and it feels very healing to be surrounded by this kind of like wood and earth energy over here. It kind of feels like you guys putting your feet back on the ground. You're not Your head isn't in the clouds anymore. You're not so consumed by that dream or by that goal and constantly thinking of the future. You just have your feet firmly planted on the ground and actually living life and experiencing life for the first time almost. Like allowing yourself to enjoy maybe a slower day, a day where you're not worried about anything, a day where you're not obsessing about some kind of detail or something, right? Like actually allowing yourself to have an easy time. Okay, so there will be powerful new beginnings and progress, and you're being called to return to your center in the sense of becoming more grounded, becoming more just restful and easy. I just feel like this is easy energy, you know, because like this is you guys choosing to just breathe and enjoy life, even if there is something that's really stressful. Like for instance, maybe you are dealing with a very big career stress, or there's some kind of big project that you need to work on, but you're not allowing that to consume you anymore. You're just like, all right, that's happening, sure. I'm still gonna enjoy my cup of coffee in the morning, you know, like not allowing anything in life to take away from the grounding, peaceful, easy experiences, okay? The next card over here, I want to take a look at what is moving or what is changing in your life, okay? All right, and we have here, forgotten ones, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. There is a situation that you want just out of sight and out of mind. You no longer want to entertain it. You no longer want to devote more time and energy into worrying about something, into thinking about something. And the dual message also from this forgotten ones is that you're also remembering something. In you letting go of this very heavy and dense energy, this very negative feeling over here, it also allows you to remember something about your life and actually return back to your essence and your core. Spirit isn't really saying what that is yet, because I think that could be something that you guys get to discover on your own, and it's a lot more powerful for you to actually remember it in the process of letting go, okay? Underneath the deck we have Hiraeth, letting the earth teach. Wow. You have another earth card over here. So I wonder if some of you actually would like to take some time out in nature, or maybe you're reconnecting with your roots, reconnecting with maybe like a childhood dream, or some kind of maybe your family past, like a family lineage, but definitely kind of like reconnecting back to your nature and reconnecting back to nature as well, like big nature and your nature, okay? But you're definitely feeling a lot more grounded and letting yourself be guided by the earth. Maybe even like exploring some more, I'm hearing like more like natural remedies. So I don't know if some of you feel like maybe you want to go on like a detox, or you've been facing certain issues with your health or with your wellness and you want to take a more natural approach and maybe eat healthier, eat more organic stuff or something like that, but you're just healing yourself with a more natural approach, okay? Now let's see what blessings are coming through for the rest of the year. Okay, I've got quite a few. I'm actually going to shuffle again because this is like a whole chunk of cards, so give me 1 second. Okay, we have number 12, the dove tree, blessings. You just straight up got blessings coming your way, okay? And it says your love and tenderness prepare you to enjoy the benefits of a new opportunity. So you're definitely opening yourself up to a new opportunity over here. We have number 27, the Judas tree, seduction. Ooh. Your own passion may cause you suffering. Keep alert to what is not yet in sight. Danger can be avoided. Wow, this is exactly what we've been talking about this entire reading. There is this something that's very seductive, right? Your own passion, something that you've been so deeply entrenched in, but it's also causing you suffering. So the blessing here is your ability to let go. The blessing here is the ability to see past the temptation, to see past the obsession and the seduction, and be able to notice what this actually is creating in your life and how it's actually impacting you. With things that are tempting to us, it's not easy to let go of it, because letting go of it would require us a lot of times to deal with the actual discomfort that we've been avoiding, right? Because something seductive would take us away from some kind of truth, and we only avoid the truth when we feel like it's going to maybe hurt us, or the truth is painful, the truth is going to reveal something that's very uncomfortable. But in the next 6 months, you guys are actually learning to see that the seduction and the temptation is actually more damaging than the pain of that truth, okay? And that's definitely a blessing that's coming through in disguise. And then you have number 7, the willow tree wisdom. And it says here, wisdom and progress develop without rest, like a tree springing upward from its roots in the earth. Again, you've got this word, like earth keeps coming out. You're just returning back to your roots, returning back to your essence and your core, like remembering who you are without all of these additional embellishments, right? Like we think we need all this money or all this career success, or we need the love, the friendships, the hobbies, we need to have a good body, society has many things that it wants us to aspire towards, and you guys are just shedding all of that and returning back to your core, returning back to your most natural state, and just remembering who that is and what that person and what that soul truly wants, okay? So letting go of that seduction will bring you the wisdom of your internal knowing, okay? Underneath that, we have number 11, the apple tree romantic love. And it says here, by giving love, you will be showered by love in return. Love is to see good in all things, okay? So you may also be experiencing love and experiencing a more pure, a more wholesome love, I would say, for some of you, okay? I want to get some more specific messages now. So let's see if there are any career blessings coming in for you in the next 6 months. All right. We have here number 42, wise decision in reverse. And it says here, misinformed, rethink, disarray, and overlooked. And underneath the deck, we've got number 41, time to go in reverse as well. And it says here, stagnation, wondering, questioning, and dead end. So you're definitely questioning some kind of career decision you've made in the next 6 months. And the blessing coming through here is you being able to discern whether or not you should stay or leave something. And the interesting thing is, Spirit isn't actually telling you what to make. Spirit isn't telling you what decision to make over here in this reading. Only that you know that you're stuck with the time to go in reverse. You know that there's something that isn't really meant for you anymore, but leaving it could be like just upping and going, maybe something that you're not ready to do. I'm just hearing that there's you will be able to find the most appropriate and a wise way to remove yourself from a situation while still keeping the peace, while still maintaining some level or some kind of like harmony in your life. Because maybe you need to pay the bills and it's not wise to just up and leave, or maybe there's other considerations. Maybe you want your resume to look good, and maybe it's not great to just leave after a few months. I don't know. There's something here where you're choosing the wisest decision. Sometimes the wisest thing could be to just up and go, and other times it might be to actually open yourself up to a different plan, to a different opportunity, a different thing. So keep your options open is the message over here, because there are some kind of career changes that could be happening in the next 6 months, and it's calling for you to make a choice. Okay, now let's see what blessings are coming through when it comes to love. All right, and we have the distorted feminine. And underneath the deck, we have dating. So the thing that's coming through for love is you guys actually healing a part of yourself that has felt very neglected with the distorted feminine. It doesn't matter if you are like whichever gender or however you identify, but there's just a part of yourself that feels like your needs have been neglected with the feminine energy over here. And there's a part of you that needs that TLC. and needs some love poured back into you. And needing to kind of like do that work more so on your own rather than relying on a partner or relying on somebody else to give you the self-love or the self-care or the affection that you need. So you're kind of like really pouring that back to yourself, first and foremost with love. But underneath the deck with dating over here, I also feel like some of you are opening yourself up to more fun experiences, whether or not you are in a relationship right now or not. You're just trying to have more fun with love, not trying to make everything so serious. Maybe you're having a conversation with your partner that, hey, life has been really too serious these days, and we've forgotten how to just enjoy each other's company. And maybe you've forgotten how to just go on dates and enjoy the dating process without having this expectation that you need to find the one, and that makes dating a lot more of a stressful thing rather than something that's perhaps a little bit more fun, right? So we're just injecting more fun back into our lives, especially when it comes to love, all right? Now let's get some cards for you, some final messages I want to get from your ancestors about the next 6 months, okay? And they have for you Stone People, Vigilance, Volcano, Volatility, and Summer Solstice, Radiance. Underneath the deck, we have Shaman, Ancient Healing Wisdom. So your ancestors are definitely coming in to help you to heal as well. Some of your ancestors might be medicine people, medicine women or men, shamans. They're coming in to actually assist you in healing some kind of a challenge in your life, especially this heaviness that you might be feeling. But essentially, your ancestors are actually wanting to point out to you that change is imminent in your life. All right, so be very alert and open to how these things are happening, because the volcano and the eruption brings about change and brings about, number one, destruction, to creation, right? Because when we have a volcano, something erupts and disrupts, right, in the earth. But then later on, we actually benefit a lot from volcanic eruptions, right? Because the soil is more fertile, different ecosystems emerge because of a volcano. Sometimes it is actually really beneficial to have this. But firstly, there is an eruption, there is a disruption taking place. So your ancestors want you to be open to the fact that if there's something that isn't working out in your life anymore, and it's time for it to be removed or time for it to be let go of, do so gracefully, do so, just let it leave, all right? And let the eruption happen, which is a weird thing to say because none of us, I'm sure, want crazy shit happening in our lives. None of us want our lives to be blowing up. So that's not to say that we're looking for chaos or we're looking for volcanoes to erupt in our lives, but then there might just be a situation in your life right now that's just waiting to explode. That maybe it's you have so much emotions inside of you, so much pent-up stress and anger maybe inside of you that's just waiting to explode. And maybe that's the thing that you need to let go of. Those emotions have to go somewhere. They have to be expressed somehow. So let that go. Let those things be gone and move on from there, okay? But summer solstice radiance is also coming through. So the summer solstice is happening right before the timeline in this reading. I mean, it's towards the end of June, right? But then I'm reading like July to end of the year. But whenever you're watching this, you might just want to pay attention to when the summer solstice is actually happening, because there might be some big changes happening in that time. But also just summer in general is it could be a very interesting time for you, where you're noticing that you're getting more attention, or you're getting more healing, you're getting more vibrant and radiant as well through some new beginnings happening in the summer period, okay? And now let's just close out this reading with a final affirmation card from Spirit. And we have, I give myself permission to switch off my mind and have fun. Yep, this is the reading. And it says here, I am thankful for many things and my gratitude attracts abundance into my life. Aww. I love that this card ties in very nicely with the first card that we got. So gratitude is the theme for you guys, okay? Underneath the deck, we have today everything is unfolding perfectly according to a greater plan, all right? And so pile number one, this is what I see for you. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this reading brought you the clarity that you were seeking, and I look forward to reading for you in future as well. Bye now. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading about what's happening for you in the rest of 2026. So we're going to start off with this card in the middle that will give us the main theme for the rest of your year, and then we'll look at two oracle cards, and tarot and oracle cards. And the way that I've structured this reading is that I'm looking at the next 6 months in segments of 2 months each. So July and August, September and October, and then November and December, okay? And then we'll have a bunch of other oracle cards. So this is a highly, highly detailed reading, and let's get started. All right, so the main theme for you is guilt. The main theme for your rest of your year is guilt. Okay, so there's guilt holding you guys back. And it's keeping you guys chained up. Look at this person with this like chain around her. And you might be in a situation where you feel like you cannot move on from someone or something out of a sense of guilt. Because maybe you feel like leaving them is going to leave that person in a bad position. Maybe it's worrying about that person not being able to do without you, and therefore you're kind of like chained to a very, very unideal situation. I'm just noticing this person has like a halo above her, right? And yet she's chained down. So you're doing this act of service and you're doing this kind of like kindness to somebody else, but then the question back to you is this an act of kindness to you? How are you serving yourself or not by being in this situation of guilt, okay? So the next 6 months for many of you is definitely about identifying where in your life you're not allowing yourself to move on from something. How are you actually staying, not out of love, not out of choice, but from a place of guilt. And it's important to not let this situation fester. Okay, so let's take a look at your tarot cards now. And the way I've shuffled them is that I allowed the cards to fall out. So we actually have a uneven distribution of cards for the next 6 months. Okay, so these 3 cards are for your July and August, and let's take a look at them together. The first card is the Devil in reverse. We then have the King of Wands, as well as the 3 of Pentacles. All right, so for July and August, what's actually happening for you is, I think many of you actually start to notice that there's this guilt situation that's been holding you back. Somebody might have been guilt tripping you, or maybe you're guilt tripping yourself. I feel like actually most of the people in this pile actually are guilt tripping yourself into staying in something. And the Devil in reverse is us noticing that this pattern is existing in our lives, and us having the awareness to want to then do something about it, okay? The King of Wands is a lot of initiative and action in your life right now to actually make certain changes. There might be somebody who comes into your life who actually encourages you to do things differently. And this person might give you the inspiration or the motivation to actually make some big changes with your life or your lifestyle, okay? So that could be somebody coming in, but for some of you, this is also you guys just kind of like sitting up and paying more attention to the trajectory of your life right now. You just noticing that, oh my God, I've been spending a disproportionate amount of time guilting myself into staying in an unhealthy situation, and I need to do something about it. Okay, so this is you guys just kind of like at the edge of your seat, wanting to make some very significant changes in your life. I think it's almost like a big wake-up call that's coming in like the July-August period, where you just kind of like are in shock at how much you decided to stay on in a unhealthy career or an unhealthy relationship or an unhealthy living situation because it was coming from a place of guilt. And the thing about this guilt situation also is that it isn't as bad as it seems. And that's what makes it hard to identify that this situation isn't actually healthy for you. You know, because maybe on the surface, it looks very normal, right? Maybe, for instance, this is your job that is keeping you stuck. And the thing is, on the surface, it's just a regular 9 to 5. There's nothing really bad about it, right? You have a stable job, you have a very stable income. it pays the bills, you have, you know, a decent work-life balance. Like everything about it is just very normal. So it doesn't immediately shout or jump out at you that you were staying on in a job like this because of guilt. All right, maybe you're staying on because you feel guilty that if you were to do your own thing or to start your own business, it would mean that that burden of having a stable income gets passed on to your partner. Or maybe there's some kind of guilt involved where you feel like if you don't have a stable income, your parents might be upset with you or somebody gets upset with you. So you end up just kind of like in a very unknowing manner stay on in a situation because you feel guilty to somebody else. But the way this guilt kind of plays out is that it's very sneaky, you know, it's very unassuming. And that's why we have devil over here. Devil is a little bit of that sneaky energy, like you just never really know where it's coming from, but then somehow it guilt tripped you into staying longer than necessary in a situation. So the Three of Pentacles is us pondering about what our next steps will be. What do we want to do next? Where do we actually want to put our energy towards? And what exactly is the thing that we want to create in our lives? Because the Three of Pentacles talks about a give and exchange, right? In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith image, we see three people in the process of kind of like circulating something, and that circulation is the process of giving and exchanging, giving and receiving. And being in this cycle actually is the more productive cycle that we can be in, rather than constantly giving more than we receive or receiving more than we give. The Three of Pentacles actually puts us back into a cycle of growth and change as well, because we keep exchanging energies and we keep, you know, putting ourselves in a constructive cycle. So I see some of you actually wanting to reshape your life and reshape how, I guess, you are putting certain energies out there, whether it is your career, your finances, or your daily routines. There's something more like material about this thing. It's more related to your career and your finances with the Three of Pentacles here, that you guys actually want to change the way in which you're making money or change your daily routines when it comes to your career, okay? Let's take a look at your next 2 months, which is September and October, and you have one card for this, and the card is Tower in reverse. Beautiful. So Tower in reverse is you guys actually kind of like averting some kind of a, well, not really a crisis, because I don't like to over catastrophize, and sometimes when you use words like that, it might feel that way, but it's not really that you're averting a crisis, but definitely averting a challenge, okay, with the Tower in reverse. You guys actually pay attention and notice where something is really not working out in your lives. With this guilt card and the Tower here, this is how you guys have been building a life around the shaky foundations of guilt, right? Guilt isn't necessarily something that we want to build something from. You don't want to look back in the last 10, 20, or 30 years of your life realizing that you've been running because of guilt, right? That you've been leading your life from a place of guilt and shame rather than a place of choice, commitment, or love, or some other more high vibrational state to be in. So what are the months? September and October is the time when you guys actually start to make some big changes in your life. The Tower is here, so I do see that some of you actually do make some kind of like, you actually do tear down certain foundations in your life. But when this is in reverse, it's not that it's not the kind of change that happens in a more sudden or drastic manner. I see many of you actually initiating this change. And so Spirit doesn't have to come in and kind of like smash your life up into smithereens with the Tower over here. You are actually the one actually doing that work, and you can actually dismantle things in your terms, in your own way, rather than the Tower here, which kind of like happens outside of our control. So some of you might be making some changes in your life. If it is a career switch you're thinking of, if it is a change in certain living situations, if it is a change in your routines, maybe you're improving your health, there's something about your day-to-day concrete kind of like routines and actions that you're making some changes to that that is happening for you in September and October, okay? Now, let us take a look at November and December of 2026, and we have the final two tarot cards to look at that. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse and Wheel of Fortune also in reverse. Okay. The first thing that I'm seeing with the Knight of Cups in reverse is that uh, change happens slower than you expect, even with the Wheel of Fortune over here, and it's also happening more unexpectedly. Is a bit of a strange feeling I'm getting because I think you wanted to change your life and you went in having like a specific outcome in mind. But then with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, this is Spirit bringing you a very different path and approach, something that you weren't expecting. And the Knight of Cups here is a little bit of that inability to accept the new things coming into your life. So the last 2 months of 2026 could be a little bit unexpected for you. Like you never expected your life to go in this direction. And it's hard to be on the receiving end of this. Now, don't jump into conclusions just yet because we don't really know what the nature of this change is, right? Whether or not it's something more positive or maybe something very unexpected and maybe a little bit more harder to deal with. We don't know, and I'm not really getting that message as of yet. We might see a little bit more with our oracle cards, but this is Spirit calling for you to be very open to new possibilities happening in your life. Because if you have been stuck in a certain cycle and nothing really has changed in your life for a while, and now you want to invite change, be prepared. Basically, Spirit is saying be prepared then for actual real change to come in. And the thing about change is that oftentimes it is unexpected. Oftentimes we cannot quite control how change happens or what happens after we initiate change in our lives. So there might be some of you who like go on this journey of transformation and you get a little bit of like a rude awakening, like, oh shit, I didn't realize that it's gonna be this way. All right, but it is, and it's something that we are learning to navigate throughout the rest of 2026, learning how to navigate change. Okay. The other thing with the Knight of Cups is I do see some of you having a little bit of a harder time accepting a blessing. It could be that the blessing doesn't look like a blessing from the get-go. So it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, and that makes it hard for you to just accept it wholesale. But for some of you, there's like a new start happening in your life with the Knight of Cups. But in reverse, you guys are kind of like pushing it away. In like, I hear some people saying like, I'm not ready for this. I don't know if I really want this. This could be a good thing, but I don't really know if it's a good thing or not. I don't really know why you might think this way or like what the situation exactly is that's causing you to feel this way. But maybe there's something that's a little bit of a double-edged sword, and so it's not something that you find easy to just accept it as it is. And so there's a little bit of a contemplation happening in the final 2 months of 2026. You wondering how do you actually take something forward and what do you do about a new beginning coming into your life. Okay, so kind of interesting. Let us look into our oracle cards now. I just want to see first of all what new beginnings are coming through in your life in the rest of 2026. And we have the water pig being in the flow. This is card number 60. Yeah, you guys are choosing to be in the flow for sure. This is what's going on in the rest of your year. And again, being in the flow also means that we allow ourselves to be receptive to the unknown, right? And there are no spoilers as of yet. Spirit isn't revealing what exactly the flow will bring to you. But that's one of the lessons of being in the flow. It is to trust. It is to surrender to the process. And it is to really trust that the flow will bring us what we need in our lives, and to have a sense of acceptance of what's coming to us, right? Underneath the deck, we have number 4, Fire Rabbit, Welcome the Muse. Ooh, interesting. So some of you might be embarking on some kind of creative endeavor where you are being more, you're standing out in the spotlight a little bit, wanting to own the stage, and just creating something from scratch is what I'm hearing with the fire rabbit. Welcome the muse. Okay, very interesting. Wow. Yeah, there's some kind of like creative energy coming in. Rabbits are very like prosperous. They symbolize prosperity and abundance with rabbits. So you might be like receiving like an influx of ideas, and it's just opening you up to a channel of like creation, all right, for the rest of 2026. So if some of you are wanting to be artists, or you're starting up some kind of like a career in creation, maybe it's content creation, or you're doing some creative work, you might be feeling pretty inspired, and it could be taking you places, all right, in terms of your creative career. All right, now let's see what's actually improving in your lives with this horse deck over here. And we have here Dharma's path, the end of suffering. Wow. So what's improving in your life is the end. Oh my God, and we have guilt here. Yes. So you're definitely ending a cycle of guilt and suffering. You're not doing something anymore because you feel guilty to someone else or yourself. You're not doing something by feeding some kind of subconscious pattern. And that's really ending this cycle of suffering for you. Wow. So what's improving is it is the end of a very challenging season, and you guys actually starting to thrive. All right. And with the Knight of Cups there, this is you being so out of water with thriving. Yeah, like things are looking so good that you feel a little bit uneasy with how good things are looking. And that's why we have Tower and Wheel of Fortune. Is you knowing that things are getting better, but then with the Wheel of Fortune not really knowing how to just accept that things are getting better. And you're like, oh my God, is this really happening? Like, is this really true? Is this for real? Can I really just take this and run with it? Like you're asking yourself over and over again if something is really for you with the Knight of Cups. And you're just entering a season of thriving. Okay. I'm pausing to answer that question of whether or not that thing really is for you, because it's easy for me to sit here and say that, yes, the blessing is for you, grab it and just go with it. Like, it's easy to say it like this, but when it really happens, sometimes the blessings come with a certain weight to it, right? There are responsibilities maybe that comes with maybe your business taking off, or maybe finances are really doing well, and there could be new decisions and choices and a different kind of like state of mind that you need to be on. Sometimes when things are going well for us, there might be people who don't wish us well, right? And so it's a mixed bag, right? And it's easy to just say that, you should accept your windfall and just go with it. But living it out is a very different story altogether. So the Knight of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune is a lot of like also acceptance and understanding from Spirit. Just them communicating that, yes, we know how hard it's been. And you have the right to your feelings. You have the right to express the challenges or the doubts or the fears that you have. And allow yourself to then be guided and be in the flow, all right, with this experience that you're going through. Especially if you guys are like experiencing like an upward trend in your life, allow yourself to be guided by Spirit, and Spirit will show you how to navigate and deal with that situation, okay? Underneath that, we have Forgotten Ones, out of sight, out of mind, okay? Power also got this card, and what's happening for you guys, what's improving is you being able to let go of a past identity, you being able to let go of a certain past lifestyle that you had. You've been so used to this lifestyle that you can't really imagine a different life for you, but now that suffering is coming to an end, right? So you are changing like a massive part of your life, and this is you guys really making the effort to move on. Like, it almost like takes effort to thrive. Like, it takes effort for you guys to be happy and like enjoy the things in your life and like just be in a state of enjoyment. Like it takes you effort to remind yourself that okay, I can be happy, I can enjoy this, I can end, this survival mindset that I've been on and just enjoy this thing. All right, so there's that kind of like conscious effort that's taking place to just remind yourself to be in a state of thriving. All right, let's grab you some tree magic cards to look at the blessings coming in the rest of 2026. All right, we have two cards. Number 17, the laurel tree victory. Okay, so yeah, I think a lot of you, this is like you emerging victorious from a situation, like you've persevered and you are successful in an attempt, like finally successful at actually overcoming this challenge, or finally successful at actually emerging from this huge hill, this huge mountain you had to climb, whatever that mountain is. Maybe you were building a business, or you were improving your family's finances, or maybe you were improving your health, and you've been doing and putting in all of that work, and you're finally emerging victorious out of it, okay? And the words here are, there is no crowning glory of achievement without first being victorious over inner conflict, okay? And we also have the card here, number 41, the walnut tree with resilience, and it says here, rich secrets that are treasures will come as spiritual gifts, unfailing, always fertile and preserving. So you've been very resilient, and Spirit recognizes that and knows that. And that's why you're kind of like being rewarded as well for all of the hard work that you've been putting in, okay? Underneath that we have number 8, the silver birch tree with birth. And it says here, like wood that grows upward by drawing strength from its hidden root, love will advance. So you are definitely like birthing a new reality, okay? Like really welcoming in new life into the rest of your 2026. And just, yeah, again, it comes back to this end of suffering. You guys birthing a new life where you guys are thriving and enjoying life, okay? Now I want to get some more specific messages in terms of new beginnings coming through for your career and the rest of 2026. All right, and we have here number 29, perfect timing in reverse. And the card is unfortunate struggle, disorder, and resistance. And underneath the deck, we have self-employment, number 34 in reverse. And the keywords are tentative, limited, timid, and drudgery. Perfect timing and self-employment, both in reverse, is saying that you've been waiting basically for the perfect timing for some kind of self-employment opportunity. Many of you, if you want to be business owners, this is a huge confirmation that this is in your path. You just have been questioning when is it happening for you? When will you actually receive this self-employment opportunity? You might be working multiple jobs to make ends meet, and working multiple jobs to perhaps pay the bills plus build up your business, and this could have been going on for years and you still not see results from it. With the rest of 2026 and these two cards coming up, this is Spirit calling for you to stay the course. Stay the course. Because with the Wheel of Fortune here, things are changing for sure, right? End of suffering, Wheel of Fortune, and these two cards here. But perfect timing calls for us to trust that things will happen when they are meant to happen. So it's really difficult for me to sit here and just say that, yes, just trust the process and just believe and, it will all work out, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's hard to just do that because with divine timing, you never really know. You never know when it's going to happen, what's going to happen, and how it's going to happen. So this is a massive, massive endeavor and lesson in trust. All right, so be in the flow. All right, that is the main message over here. Let's check out messages about your love life for the rest of 2026. All right, and we have here number 29, serendipity. And underneath the deck, we've got 7, creativity. So again, there was that card, the muse card with the rabbit over there. And again, you have this creativity card. So in terms of love, Something that could be happening for some of you is you guys getting very inspired by the conversations you have with your partner or with people that you meet. And it also kind of like sparking your creativity. So I wonder if you guys might be doing something together with your partner, or maybe exploring certain creative ideas in the context of love. Maybe that's a theme of a story you're writing, or a film that you're producing, or just something that you're engaging in creatively, okay? That's just coming through as one message here. But then with serendipity, this is again you guys choosing to be in the flow. You're not controlling how love will pan out. Be it in you're in a relationship or you're single, you're just allowing love to show you where it will take you. You're not too concerned about whether or not you're hitting the next milestone in love, or when you'll meet the one, or like what's going to happen. You guys just are choosing to let go of expectations around love and being in the flow. Again, this is spirit calling for you to have this attitude of being in the flow in all aspects of your life, from career to love and everything else in between. Okay, this card here in the middle, being in the flow, very important. Okay, let's check out some messages from your ancestors about the rest of your 2026. And we have here music, harmony. And underneath the deck, we have winter solstice, reflection. So the winter solstice could be an important time for you. This is happening in December period, like end of December. So that could be a timeline that's important for some of you. But then music, harmony, and winter solstice, reflection. The energy that I'm getting from this, from your ancestors, is just paying attention and being very attentive to the messages you receive. Some of you could be very clairaudient, or you get signs from music, from lyrics, or from things that you hear. So pay attention to that, because your ancestors, spirit, and your guides are communicating to you very intently through music, okay? But it's also pushing you towards more self-reflection and more quietness, more solitude, to help you to actually push help you to actually push yourself out of this suffering and actually birth your new life of thriving, okay? So you're kind of like birthing this baby, and like that's why if you are like a mother, right, and you're about to birth a baby, you really need to take care of yourself. The mother needs a lot of TLC, a lot of peace and quiet and harmony. Like, she needs to be in a restful state. That's kind of the energy that I'm picking up for you guys. Like, just being in a very quiet state. It's almost like the quiet before the big bang, before that new life enters into your world, okay? Now, let us get you some final affirmation cards from Spirit about the rest of your 2026. We have here, everything is going to be okay. All right, everything is going to be okay. It says here also, today I dare to do something differently. And finally, I give myself permission to switch off my mind and have some fun. Beautiful. And underneath the deck, we've got, I have confidence in myself. I'm ready for everything that life offers me. Yes, definitely. Okay, so pile number 2, this is what I see for your reading. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this reading brought you the clarity that you were seeking, and I look forward to reading for you guys in future as well, okay? Bye now. Hello, pile 3, and welcome to the rest of your 2026 reading. So we are going to start off with this card in the middle that will give us the theme of your next 6 months. And then there will be tarot cards to look at the months in segments of 2 months each. Okay, so there are cards for July, August, September and October, and November, December. And I actually shuffled the tarot cards to let them fall out naturally. So some months have more cards than others, all right? So that is why, if you see that happening, and that did happen for your pal. But anyway, let us open up your first card, and we have here growth. The interesting thing here I see is, or I'm hearing, is that with growth, some of you are choosing to pluck out the weeds. I'm hearing plucking out the weeds, all right? So this could mean that you are removing certain things in your life that are not conducive for growth. Or you might be experiencing certain breakdowns right before the breakthrough. And don't be alarmed if that happens, because that is one way in which you are preparing yourself for this spike in certain aspect of your life to experience more expansion. Okay, so growth is the main theme for the rest of 2026. Let us look into your tarot cards now. For July and August, we have the World, as well as the Seven of Light Coats, the Seven of Wands in reverse. Alright, so pile 3, when it comes to the next 2 months, I see you guys kind of like surrendering to a certain process in your life, especially with the Seven of Wands in reverse. This is you being unable to deny a specific truth in your life. You are no longer able to resist or basically deny that maybe there's something that you really want to do with the World card, or there's something that you really want to go towards. You know, maybe it's a goal, maybe it's a specific project, maybe it's even some kind of a plan that you've been thinking about but you haven't taken action on. The Seven of Wands in reverse is us no longer entertaining any internal conflicts that are preventing us from just going forward with our lives. This is also you guys not entertaining any external objections, especially if they're objecting to what you really want to do with your life in general. Okay, the world card is also signifying some kind of success, victory, and resolution to a situation. This is something that you have been working towards for some time. The World is the final card in the major arcana. So whatever accomplishment, whatever big goal that you have achieved in the next 2 months, this didn't happen overnight. The thing is, I'm hearing that for some of you, it looks like it happened overnight from the outside, but you know very well what it took for you to get to where you are, where you will be or where you're going to. Okay, and you know that you had to make some significant changes and sacrifices in your life. You know the price you paid, essentially, and the price was all of the sacrifices that you paid in order to come at the World card. And I don't know why, I'm just seeing with the Seven of Wands as well that there are people who will find it very difficult to congratulate you. They just can't seem to be happy for your success, but you don't have space for these people anymore. You don't have space to entertain their objections, their remarks, you know, any of their judgments about you. You just can't deal with that anymore because of how grand the world is, just because of how big and important the world is. You know, there is really no room for small talk and gossip, that kind of thing. Okay, so there is good news coming through in the next 2 months, and Spirit is just calling for you not to be too concerned about the external kind of like voices or any opinions or any like people gossiping about you. Like, don't be too worried about that. Okay, let us take a look at the next 2 months, which is September and October. Okay, and for this 2 months you have 3 cards. And the cards are Five of Light Coats, Five of Wands, Judgment, and the Ten of Pentacles. I understand why there was this message about you guys having to pull out the weeds, even though you had this growth card over here, because your success and your achievements in the rest of 2026 is something that will also bring you a lot of personal growth, in that it's showing you what human nature is, you know, and it's kind of like showing you the true colors of the people around you. And there's a big growing involved in you achieving this success. Actually, a lot of people around you are also evolving and changing as well. There's something about you arriving at a higher point of success that really triggers a lot of people with collective awakening judgment. The interesting thing is that the World is card number 21 in the major arcana, right? And Judgment is card number 20. So we go from the World kind of like taking one step back into Judgment. So what I'm seeing here with this kind of like a progression in the cards is that you achieve your success and you move on. and you go into this new state of being, state of mind, state of life, right? And it's like people take some time to catch up to you with the cards 20 and 20, 21 and 20 showing up this way. It's like you already achieved that thing, and then people awaken to the fact that, oh, that's what this person was after. This is what their achievement is about. This is what they had. This was the price they had to pay. It was kind of like they only realize it later on that this was how major of a thing for you, and it didn't just come by easily. So there's an element of, yes, people coming around to realizing that you didn't just buy your way into success. You really paid a price for it. You put in the investment with the 10 of Pentacles over here. You've put in the investment, and this is your reward. All right. And so the 5 of light codes, the 5 of wands over here, again, coming from the 7 of wands in reverse to the 5 of wands. This is people kind of like looking at your success, and I see them, number one, having a little bit of a discussion about it, but number two, also realizing that, hey, this person is doing what I want to do. This person has achieved what I want to achieve as well. There might be some people in your life who maybe want a similar thing to you, and if not a similar thing, they want exactly what you have. And there is something about some people in your circle that they are transforming more from a judgmental point of view into a more, they're wondering how do they get what you have, And so it's less about judgment, but it's more of they're leaning in more, all right? They're not just rejecting your success, but they're like, oh, okay, I see you. Well, how do you do that? And they're kind of like tuning in into what you have to say. You might be a little bit inspiring for some people, but I don't know if they will admit it. Okay, so the 5 of wands here is kind of like 5 of wands can sometimes talk about competition and people one-upping each other. In this case, I see here people wanting to almost like get closer to you and wanting to know how you did what you did, how did you accomplish this, and it's your choice if you want to tell them. Okay, it's your choice if you want to let them in. You don't have to. Okay, with the 10 of Pentacles here, I also see many people having a very strong sense of boundaries, in that you fortified yourself and protected yourself, and over time you have seen through certain people's true colors. You know that they're not really your true fans, they're not really here to congratulate, or they're not really truly curious about your success. They just want something out of you, right? So you know that very well. So it's your choice however you want to deal with it, but I do see many of you being quite you're quite protected, and you do have boundaries set up to prevent unwanted people from coming closer to you. Okay, but you're definitely seeing the truth of a certain matter, the truth in certain people, and I'm even hearing for some of you, you are like kind of like being a little bit like, I was right about these people. They really have shown themselves, and my intuition was right. Now that I have achieved my success, this is what it is. Okay, it's a very weird, because I mean you have a pretty strong sense of success. I mean the energy of success is pretty strong in your reading, but then it's mixed in with a lot of these like external things that you're dealing with, like people's judgments and opinions, and it's weird that that's taking up so much space. It could be that these people are very close to you, or they try to be very close to you, and that's why you're hearing a lot of their voices. This could be family or some close friends that maybe are no longer that close, but they still affect you. So this is where your success could be very triggering to some people. Okay, let's look at the final cards, the final card, which is for November and December. And we have your the Muse, which is the Fool in reverse. Wow. So the Fool is card number 0, or also the first card in the Major Arcana. So we have the World over here, the last card in the Major Arcana, and then the Fool, the first card in the Major Arcana. But it is in reverse. I am going to draw a clarification for the Fool, so just give me a second. Okay. What do we have here? 10 of Swords. And Queen of, not Queen, this is the Page of Pentacles, the Princess of Discs in reverse. So the 10 of Swords is mental stress and mental burden, right? And we see over here in the next couple of months for you that while there is a lot of positive success that you gain, there are also things that kind of worry you in the background. And the Ten of Swords here is kind of that those worries reaching a breaking point where it's kind of difficult to deal with it. The Ten of Swords, at the point of the Ten of Swords, someone is mentally overwhelmed and they basically don't have any more energy to be able to deal with these 10 swords. And the swords represents words or thoughts or some kind of communication that's coming through. There's just too much of it. And with the Fool and the Ten of Swords over here, I see some of you kind of like withdrawing in the last 2 months of the year, wanting to almost like be alone for a while, not really wanting to go out to meet the world. And it's dampening your spirit a little bit with the positive success that you have achieved and what that success comes with. Okay, this could also be a lot of social media comments, or there are a lot of strangers maybe coming to you, and this could even be a larger volume of inquiries or a larger volume of comments or emails or stuff like that coming through. It's a good time because you want that activity, but then it's also quite a lot with the Ten of Swords. It's a lot to deal with. And the Fool here is somebody feeling like they need to just retreat and go and be by themselves a little bit. It's just hard to deal with everything all at once, okay? Some guidance for you. We have Chariot and we have the Star in reverse. Was there another card? Yeah. As well as the Four of Swords in reverse, and underneath that Nine of Swords again. Nine of Swords is another one of those cards that do depict some kind of mental distress, oftentimes relating to anxiety and certain fears that are playing out. So one thing that's happening here is that Chariot, things are happening pretty fast. And they're still going ahead, right? Regardless of whatever that you're experiencing, the Chariot is still that momentum and that energy moving forward. So it's hard. It's hard to stop the activity that is coming through in your life right now. And the Star in reverse is us feeling a little bit burnt out. And I think for some of you, this is a little bit unexpected in that you didn't realize that this is what life would look like when you attain the success that you do. It could just feel like a little bit like I didn't sign up for this vibes, like some of you wondering if this is really the life that you want to have for the long while. And having a little bit of like second thoughts about something, because while it is really good with the world and judgment over here, there are also parts of it that are really tough to deal with Fool and Star in reverse. Okay, the Fool is us being a little bit hesitant about taking the next step forward. And we're not entirely sure if we fully want to open the door to the new chapter in our lives. I don't know if you can necessarily close the door that has been opened, because some things have changed in your life, and the plane was flying overhead, but some things have changed in your life. Take that as it resonates, because I do believe that we can always change and we can always do things to improve our lives. So I don't know if you are tied to this reality, and I don't necessarily believe that you are. It's just that life probably has changed, and it's up to us to adapt to that new reality or do something about it so that we're not so affected by the amount of stress that it is bringing us. Because this could mean that you have more responsibilities, you have more people to answer to, there are more maybe stakeholders that you need to take care of. This might mean the promotion at work, or you are moving to a new place and there's a lot more paperwork involved or something like that, and it's just mentally stressful. Some responsibilities are kind of like have fallen into your lap, and it's either we take a step back and say we don't want to do this, or we find a way to adapt to it. Okay, I just want to see if there's anything else about the Fool that you should know about. Okay, we have the Eight of Wands. Yeah, Chariot and Eight of Wands. I mean, things are happening fast and furious, okay? So take some time to take care of yourself for sure. Always remember that your needs and your care comes first, right? Your health comes first. So be sure to put that as priority whilst you're dealing with this crazy whirlwind, okay? Underneath the deck, we have the Four of Pentacles. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, Four of Pentacles also, I mean, even the Four of Swords, Four of Pentacles, this is all about letting go of control, letting go of the fact that there's something that kind of like like the bird is out of the cage, you know? And the moment the bird is out of the cage, it's beyond our control now. We can't tell the bird where to fly. You know, the bird is just gonna go. It's that kind of feeling. I don't really know what is the exact situation, but this is the energy that I'm picking up and like metaphorically what I'm seeing. But something is like the cat's out of the bag, and it's time to shift our approach and attitude towards something. No longer can we keep certain things under wraps. We probably there are probably some difficult truths we might need to deal with. Maybe you're more public facing now and you just have to answer to more people. I don't know. There's something here there's good and there's bad. And there's a lot of good and a lot of, bad is not a great word to use because it's not so binary, but there are pros and cons, I guess, yeah. And there are big pros and big cons. So it's a little bit of a balancing act, I do think, to be able to manage this well, okay? But yeah, this is your tarot message. Kind of a mixed bag, isn't it? But let's actually take a look now at our oracle cards and see what are some new beginnings you can expect in the rest of 2026, okay? All right. We have your fire snake living from the heart. And fire sheep, clear your blockage. Underneath the deck, we have wood tiger, powerful beginnings and progress. Okay, so when it comes to new beginnings in 2026, you really have to cut out, oh, okay, I get, I'm hearing you have to cut out the snakes in your life. And that is the thing that's not easy to do, because I think knowing who the snakes are and knowing what the snakes have been doing is going to be a bit of a rude awakening. It's not something easy to accept, even if you knew what they did. It's not something easy to accept, yeah. But we have to clear this blockage. We have to clear the path of the people who are, we have to clear our path of people who are in the way of us actually being able to live authentically. Not easy to accept it, because there might be, it might just be very, it's like realizing maybe like your closest friend or something was actually being a little bit deceitful behind the scenes, that kind of feeling. And it's like, damn, I didn't know you could do that. And you might feel a little bit like distrustful of the world in general because of the people that you witness, and what they do with the Fool in reverse. Yeah, let's see what else is coming through. I want to see with these cards here what's improving in your life through the rest of the year. Okay, and we have here, create cause, laughter is the best medicine. Okay, yeah, have some laughter. I mean, your reading felt very serious, and it feels very serious up until now. But with this card here, I know that everything's fine. Actually, there could be some things that are a little bit heavy, but overall, with laughter is the best medicine, I feel like you can laugh it off. There are things that are just, it's not worth our energy, it's not worth our time. Just let it slide, let it go. Yeah, not worth it. Okay, underneath the deck we have Ex Tenebris Lux. Hope I'm saying that correct. But we have from the darkness comes the light. Yeah, you will be able to there are some things that will be revealed to you, I'm hearing, and also you will be able to emerge from this situation with more clarity. within and finding yourself in a better position overall, like kind of like emerging as the, what do they say, like being the bigger person. Yeah, you'll be able to come out of it being the bigger person overall. Okay, let's see what blessings are coming your way in the rest of 2026. We have number 11, apple tree, romantic love. By giving love, you will be showered by love in return. Love is to see good in all things. Okay, so some of you might be meeting a new romantic partner or just deepening love with your current partner if you guys are already attached. Let's see what other blessings are coming through. Okay. We have number 3, the baobab tree, resourcefulness. Your thirst for knowledge will be answered by mystic thoughts in your subconscious. Okay, so kind of feeling that you guys might be receiving some intuitive downloads from your dreams with this card over here. But resourcefulness is another thing coming through, especially with the 10 of Pentacles here. You guys are growing in resources and also just using them well, okay? And lastly, we have number 19, the eucalyptus tree, love revealed, okay? The arms of love draw closer to you, and ambition you love grows into what is visible and tangible. Oh, right. Your success and your ambition is very revealing. It's very revealing. And that is the reason why you gain this level of achievement and you feel like your whole world is falling apart. Because it is revealing to you the good, bad, and the in-between of your life. It is showing you what needs to be removed, what is no longer in energetic alignment with your new reality. It is showing you the people that are in alignment and the people that are not in alignment. And it's like there are a lot of changes happening, breakdowns, and also major breakthroughs. So, but it's revealing everything. Like all of the dust is getting shaken up, right? And it's kind of like we have this carpet and it's a dusty old carpet. You're moving into a new home and you decide to like dust out your carpet, and you have to literally clear out all of the old. Oh my god, that candle just went out. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, you are definitely clearing yourself of a big major old chapter in your life. This is good news. I feel this is really good, because with that candle burning out, I feel really good about this now, because there's just something that's just ending. All right, and it's done. It can no longer affect you, and you're moving on right away from it. Okay, underneath the deck we have number 15, the maple tree, acclaim, and it says here, honeyed days that dreams are made of, sweeten all that is to follow. So you might be receiving some kind of recognition, receiving some kind of what do you call it, like people are noticing you and really wanting to celebrate the work that you've done, right? And they know that you're doing good work as well with acclaim. I'm going to replace that candle, so be right back. All right, and we are back. And now I want to get some specific messages about some areas in your life. So we're going to get a card for the career blessings for the rest of 2026. Okay, and we have here Haniel, silver, number 4, and it says here, goddess, psychic, sacred, and proud. All right, and then we also have Michael, number 6, blue, and it says here, wise, honest, trustworthy, and observant. Okay, so with career-wise, oh, and underneath the deck, we have Chamel, light green, number 1, and it says here, this card is in reverse, and the keywords are anxiety, burdened, restless, and despair. So I do see that many of you with your career, right, you're actually really protected by your angels, because we have 2 of the angel cards coming through in this deck over here. And so your angels are definitely watching over you and protecting you as you advance through any career progressions or career kind of like achievements, even if this is business as well, business achievements that you have in the next 6 months, okay? You're very protected. And I also feel that many of you are making moves in your career that are kind of like intuitively you feel like, you know, this is the right time to do something, and when you do make that intuitive decision, it pays off really, really well. Okay, so trust your instincts, trust what you feel called to do. Overall, you're being very protected, all right, with your two angels over here in the reading. Now let's have a look at what's coming through when it comes to love. I know this card kind of flipped over, but we have the distorted feminine, but it went back. So let's shuffle again and see what comes through. Some blessings for love. And we have number 9, compatibility. Ooh, and I dropped the card. Okay, and the next card is number 29, serendipity. And underneath the deck, we have number 1, abundance. Yes, I mean, you guys are achieving a lot of abundance, and it's even improving something about your love situation as well. Maybe it's something that you could share with a loved one and bring more happiness and joy and overall more enjoyment into your love life. But again, with the love revealed card and even romantic love coming through as one of the blessings for you, for sure, you're coming into alignment with your person, with your soulmate, and it's either bringing you close to your person or bringing you closer to the person that you're already with if you are currently attached. Okay, so compatibility is you guys kind of like working things through to become an even more suitable match for each other. This is you guys being more intimate, being more understanding, realizing new things about each other that makes you fall more deeply in love with each other, regardless of whether you're single or attached. If you're single, this is something that could be happening for you soon in the rest of 2026, okay? But with serendipity over here, I feel like you're taking things quite easy with love, not trying too hard, not trying to control or dictate too much of what's going on with love. Like, there are other priorities, and love just seems to be something that almost like falls into your lap, in the rest of 2026. Like, you weren't expecting that these developments would happen, but they do. Okay, I want to get you some messages from your ancestors as well about the rest of your 2026. Okay, we have winter solstice reflection. And lotus flower unfoldment. Okay, and underneath the deck we have volcano volatility. Yeah, things are shaking up for sure in your life with this card over here. Okay, but overall, even though we have volcano underneath the deck, the two cards that came up above are very quiet, right? Winter solstice reflection, and even this lotus flower unfoldment is like a still lotus flower pond. So on the surface, things are looking calm, but then there's something underneath the volcano card over here, something underneath that's brewing. Okay, so your ancestors are just pointing out that in times of massive growth and massive expansion, it also requires us to be even more grounded, to be still, to keep calm and carry on, but keep calm in times like this. You might need to lean more into your practices, like your meditation, your journaling, having a good sleep routine as well if you don't do those things, but just leaning into good daily habits, and even if this is exercise as a form of meditation, right? Just doing those things is going to help you to keep your sanity in check whilst life is unfolding. All right, and let's get you some final affirmation cards about the rest of 2026. And we have here, today everything is unfolding perfectly according to a greater plan. Okay, the word unfolding is coming out again. So there's definitely a situation that is revealing itself to you. And I really do not know for sure and fully what it's revealing to you. I mean, we are getting some glimpses of it, but I think it's beyond imagination at this point. So just pay attention, remain alert, and just observe and notice, okay? And then we also have I am valuable. Many people are thankful for my presence in their lives. Okay, so something that you're doing could also bring about inspiration, and people are grateful for what you're providing. And underneath the deck, it says here, I make a positive difference in the world, even with my smile and words. Yeah, you're making some kind of an impact. Okay, so I would not be surprised if some of you actually putting yourself if you're gaining some kind of public recognition, or maybe just doing something in the public eye, that definitely could be something that some of you guys are doing. Okay, but anyway, pile number 3, this is what I see for your reading. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this reading brought you the clarity that you're seeking, and I look forward to reading for you in future as well. Bye now. Alright, hello pile number 4. Welcome to your reading about the rest of your 2026. So we are going to start off with this card in the middle that will tell us the overall theme for your year. And then I've actually pulled tarot cards to look at the rest of the year in periods of 2 months each. Okay, so there's a card for July, August, September and October, and then November and December. And I actually just shuffled and allowed the cards to fall out naturally. So there are some months that have more cards and some months with less. All right, but anyway, let us take a look at the first theme, and your theme is rejection. Oh no. Okay, no worries. Take a deep breath. Let's look at this together. So, rejection. It involves you putting yourself out into the world, right? To even face rejection. And there's a lot of courage that is required to do this thing, to put yourself in the way of people's feedback, people's opinions, and being, I guess, in a way open, right, to receiving whatever that may come, including rejection. So the interesting thing about rejection as your theme is it also, the subtext to this is the amount of courage it takes to do this, the amount of strength you have had to pull up in yourself to deal with the rejection. And one thing I'm hearing now is Spirit saying that sometimes when things don't work out in your life, it's probably in some ways meant to be. If there's a big project or a big goal that you've been working towards, and you find that in the next 6 months you experience some kind of rejection from it, like maybe an application doesn't go through or some kind of outcome doesn't pull through, know that sometimes that's the universe's way of actually redirecting you towards what's really meant for you. And it's not easy, of course, in the moment when we experience that rejection, but then hindsight is 2020. So give yourself that perspective that maybe something better, there is something better in store for me. Okay, the other message over here with rejection is that you never really know until you put yourself out there. So if some of you have been afraid of rejection and therefore not taking any action about something, this card here is saying that we have to at some point face this fear. Right? It's a very visceral and a very real fear, of course. It's not to say that it's an invalid emotion and there's a plane flying overhead. But the message here is that if we allow this rejection to stop us from even trying, right, we will always keep that thing and that idea, that project, that goal, that ambition, it will always be under wraps. It will never see the light of day, and you will never actually be rejected if you don't put yourself in the path of rejection, right? So we're always just afraid of like a paper tiger. We're always afraid of a made-up concept, right? But we never really know for sure. So Spirit doesn't want you to live in that illusion of rejection, but rather to actually put it out there and see for yourself, because not all rejection is bad. Again, sometimes if somebody says that maybe this piece of work isn't good for whatever reason, they might have some valid feedback, right? And that then could be something that we learn from, but we will never know unless we actually receive that feedback. Okay, so rejection here is your main theme, and it's also bringing up a lot of lessons. Okay, so let's take a look at your tarot cards now. You have one card for July, August, and your card is the 9 of Swords in reverse. Yeah. The 9 of Swords upright is fierce, is a lot of mental distress, coming from a feeling of anxiety. And anxiety is kind of like us feeling worried about a future that hasn't arrived yet, right? That's oftentimes what anxiety is about. We might be anxious because we had experienced something before, and some red flags are triggering up inside of us, and we think that something might happen. But then we don't know yet if it's happening, right? So there's this message coming through the Nine of Swords that in reverse, that you guys are kind of like overcoming that fear and starting to put yourself out there again, starting to dip your toes back into the water. I see someone taking a very small step forward with the Nine of Swords in reverse, but it is a step nonetheless. Okay, you might still feel the fear, but you're still gonna do it. You might still feel weirded out by something, but I still see you trying and taking one baby step towards the direction of where you want to go. Okay, so in July and August, you might be taking some small baby steps, but it is a step that feels like it is in a positive direction. It is a step towards growth and evolution. Okay, now let's take a look at September and October, and you also have one card for it, and this is the Six of Swords. Wow, you guys are moving on. From the Nine of Swords to the Six of Swords. In the months of September and October, you realize that there are things you really cannot, there's a weight you cannot carry anymore. There's a mental stress that you no longer want to bring with you. And you're deciding to move on from it. So there could be a certain person or situation that you are leaving behind in the months of September and October. And you're moving towards more calmness, more peace, away from chaos and conflict. I mean, the Nine of Swords also can talk about that chaos and conflict, and that's what's causing this person to be so stressed out, because they're dealing with a lot of chaos and conflict. But you guys over here are deciding to move on from it. And the two cards over here are also showing that this is not an easy decision that you've made. It is by no means you guys just deciding to up and leave. Like, it's not a rash decision. You have thought it through and thought through it very carefully as well before deciding to move on. And it's almost like you're moving on with a heavy heart, but also it's for the better, you know. It is for the better, and you know it's for the better. It's just that there is that bittersweetness to it. Okay, let's look at November and December, and the last 2 months you actually have two cards for it. And we have here Two of Wands and the Five of Cups. Yeah. This whole reading is moving on vibes. Two of Wands is things starting to look up, right? Because we have a lot of these two cards over here are quite. There is a little bit of a more stressful energy when it comes to the Nine and Six of Swords. But the Two of Wands, it brings back that fire energy with the wand energy over here, and there's more brightness coming through. And the Two of Wands is you guys having to look ahead and having something to look forward to. Okay, so you might be planning something for 2027, looking ahead into the new year and getting excited about new things that are coming your way, actually starting to live life and not being so afraid of what could happen or what would happen or what has happened. Like, you're letting a lot of that go. Okay, and even with the Five of Cups over here, there is still that healing that needs to take place to overcome, you know, the stuff that you had lost with the Five of Cups. This could be talking about the rejection that you may be facing. You know, there may be something that really makes you feel pretty disappointed, and you need to take some time to process it, and that's fine. But I do see you guys kind of like doing that work of allowing water to just go under the bridge and be over with it, and then actually looking forward to what's ahead of you with the Two of Wands. So there is change and there is progress, and there is a lot of like letting go and moving on for the rest of your year. Okay, let's take a look at what new beginnings you can expect from 2026 with our oracle cards. All right, we have quite a few cards here, but we have Earth Bird, number 46, Phoenix rising from the ashes, Yes, there's that vibe in your reading, right? Where some things are kind of like dissipating away and you guys will rise above from it. It's hard to imagine a phoenix rising from the ashes, and that's the unexpected thing about the phoenix, right? It's how does it actually how does it rise from the ashes? Like imagine seeing an actual phoenix rising from ashes. That's pretty miraculous. That's pretty magical. And the thing here is like nobody's expecting you to rise from the ashes, but you do. You're not expecting yourself to rise from the ashes, but you do. Okay, so allow yourself to be open to that possibility that there is definitely something better coming through for your way, out of the things that have not worked out. Okay, we also have wood rabbit number 52. Follow your curiosity. Number 48, metal pig, partnership and collaboration, as well as a number 4, fire rabbit, welcome the muse. Okay, so we have two rabbits. Some of you might be born in the year of the rabbit, or you really like rabbits. Rabbits could be like an energy, like the spirit animal that you work with, and rabbits really represent kind of like prosperity, abundance, and procreation, right? So I feel like it's a time of being open, with follow your curiosity and welcome the muse. This is a time to be open to new possibilities. It's not a time to do the same thing over and over again, the rest of 2026. It's not a time to rinse and repeat the same cycles, the same decisions, the same routines. It's actually time to switch things up. So if you want to change up maybe your work environment, or change up how your bedroom, maybe like change up the decor a little bit, or maybe change your hairstyle, big to small changes, right? It's going to help you to shift your energy by welcoming in some new appearances or new environments in your life. Okay, and even with metal pig, partnership and collaboration, this is also about being open to new people that are coming in, because these new people will bring in new ideas and new concepts for you, and they could also help you to see things differently. So if you mix around with new people and learn new things, that could also help you to expand your horizons, right? And have a different perspective about your life or about the situation that you're dealing with. Underneath that, we have number 11, wood dog, trust your intuition. Okay, so if there's something that you feel strongly about, especially with any new beginnings, trust your intuition, all right? Let us take a look at some improvements in your life as well. And we have the card Ambassador, invincibility of spirit. And underneath the deck, we have wonder, seeing the world through the eyes of a child. So what is improving for you? Is all of this courage that's coming through with the invincibility of spirit, in you guys actually deciding to move forward and not holding back from this kind of like rejection that you face or may face. You're rising above. You're showing yourself and the world just how resilient you are, right? That this thing didn't crumble you, it didn't destroy you, and it's actually like making you a better person. It's actually making you stronger. This is a huge test of character. Maybe it's also one of the big lessons and tests that you are going through in this lifetime. But it's definitely showing the world who you are. Okay, so there's something improving here where I think you regain your spark and you regain your spirit as well. If you have felt very numb to life in general, weird, but this situation over here might actually reignite your spark. It's just gonna light up like an ass, and light up a fire beneath your butt, and almost like give you your life back. I don't know, there's a weird thing about this, but it's from leaving behind these situations that you actually feel better and you regain your spark. Okay, so see the world through the eyes of a child. There's also this sense of like innocence and something more like children are very innocent and very simple, but there's something very magical about their innocence and simplicity, right? Not just it's not just being simple as in being naive, but simple as in they create magic by just doing the simplest things, right? And children just kind of like have it in them. So you're kind of like going back to basics. Yeah, that's the word. You're just going back to basics and then actually creating very wonderful magical moments in your life through that. Okay, I want to see what blessings are coming through for you in the rest of the year as well. Ooh. Okay, we have here number 39, the sweet chestnut tree, growth. And it says here, with maternal nurturing, plans and wishes meet with fruition that is as sweet as a nut. Okay, so there is growth coming through for you in the rest of the year. We also have here 37, the elm tree with faith. And it says here, good seeds are sown, bringing the hope of success in the accomplishment of growth. Okay, yeah, you are preparing for your growth. You're preparing for new things in your life, and it's amidst all of this energy that you are experiencing where you have had to walk away from something challenging. It's also preparing you for new life to come through. Okay, and then we have here 29, the fig tree, enlightening love. And it says here, lower pleasures you attract are potentially overwhelming and dangerous. Peace arrives through higher gratification. Oh, okay. So if you want to welcome lasting growth and lasting change in your life, this card over here, the fig tree enlightening love, is also pointing to letting go of instant gratification, letting go of maybe more addictive and tempting habits, but also not that beneficial habits. Also walking away from people, right, that are bringing and kind of like lowering your energy down, or kind of like people that constantly talk shit, or they're constantly complaining, or they're constantly being negative, right? You're deciding to move away from these people and maybe have some boundaries around these friends or these groups. Okay, but there's something that you're rising above from. Underneath the deck, we have number 50, the maple tree, acclaim. Interesting, because Pile 3 also got this card, but it says here, honey days that dreams are made of, sweeten all that is to follow. Okay, so you're preparing yourself also for good work to come through with acclaim as well. Let's check out some blessings coming through in your career. Okay. All right, we have here everything's okay, number 22, with reassurance, support, guidance, and overseen. Everything is okay. I feel like I can take I can breathe. There's been like a very like uptight energy in your reading. Maybe I'm the one that's being uptight. I don't know, but your cards were all a little bit challenging. So I was like, oh my god, oh my god. But this card here, that just makes me happy, okay, to know that everything's okay. Everything is okay. And then we have Raphael, number 7, with green, and it says here, love, travel, humor, and vitality, okay? So there's some positive things happening with your career. It's a type of more lightness with the humor and vitality card. There could also be travel involved when it comes to your career. So there might be travel opportunities coming in. Could come in the months of September, October, because we also have the Six of Swords over here, and that can sometimes refer to travel. But yeah, there's lightness coming through, okay? So laugh, have humor, laugh through the challenges. Sometimes we just need a little bit of that, and everything's okay. All right, underneath the deck, we have number 31, reality check in reverse, and it says here, indifference, inactive, misguided, and unmotivated. One thing I'm hearing from this card is that if there's anything that you feel indifferent about, it doesn't really make your heart sing, it doesn't really make you feel anything, yeah, probably just let it go, okay? Don't try to force yourself to do something you don't want to do, is the message over there, okay? Let's see what's coming through for you when it comes to love. And we have here number 8, dating. Okay, so where shall I put this card? I'll just put it in the middle here. But yeah, you guys might be going on some fun little dates, actually putting yourself back out there again if you're single. But if you're not single and you're attached, this could just be you and your partner, actually doing some things more intentionally, to go on dates, to spend quality time together, to do some fun stuff rather than the same old, okay? And underneath that, we have number 9, the distorted feminine. So dating could also help you to heal any past experiences that may have left you feeling a bit wounded or a bit neglected. Maybe some of you feel like your needs haven't really been met when it comes to love, and through dating and through having some of these more fun experiences, it actually reinvigorates you, because the distorted feminine card can often talk about like the kind of neglect and a lack of nurturing, when it comes to love. So injecting some fun and some flirty vibes back into love, it's gonna help us to feel young, feel love, feel alive again, okay? Let's get you some final messages from your ancestors, see what they want to tell you about the rest of your year. And we have your river movement. And underneath the deck, we have clouds shape-shifting. Oh, okay. So change is good, is what your ancestors want you to know. Movement and shape-shifting, they both require change, right? A change in state. And your ancestors are saying that it's a positive thing to experience changes. And sometimes in the moment, change might be a bit shocking, might be a bit difficult to deal with. But hindsight, again, I feel like I said that just now, but hindsight is 2020. Okay, so if you don't understand why something is happening right now, if you don't understand why a change is occurring in your life, don't worry too much about it, because the river will show the way. Right, the river of the Tao. The Tao will show its way to you. It will show you where you need to go. It will show you why it brought you to certain places. It doesn't always just bring us to positive things all the time. And positive, negative is relative to our human experience, right? So the river of the Tao is gonna bring you to where you need to be. All right, and you're just gonna go where life needs to take you to, and it's just going to reveal to you the experiences that are meant for you to experience in this lifetime. So your ancestors are not too worried about your situation, so they also want you to know that you don't have to be too worried about it. This is just the changes that are needed to happen, that are happening in your life, okay? And finally, let's look at an affirmation card for you, and we have, the universe has something very special in store for me. Beautiful. And underneath the deck, if I can put this in the center. Okay, underneath the deck, we have, forgiveness helps me to let go and move on with my life, opening up to new and loving experiences. So this 9 of Swords, 6 of Swords, and down to the 5 of Cups here, this could be you guys needing to forgive and move on from someone or something, okay? But pile number 4, this is what I see for your reading. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this reading brought you the clarity that you were seeking, and I do look forward to reading for you in future as well, okay? Bye now.